Tottenham Hale stands today with a history deeply connected to industry, production and manufacture. The current area is rich in unique and scaled industry which we hope to build upon, acting as a foundation and a catalyst for change. This guide will walk you through the process we have undertaken from analysis through to the detailed spatial studies of part of the proposed overall site master plan. While industry is at the forefront of our design intention, we have fully taken into account council and a government initiative to increase both jobs and housing stock.
What can you tell me about the history and context of Tottenham Hale?
In the past 30 years, the UK's manufacturing sector has contracted by 2/3, the greatest deindustrialisation of any significant country. Unfortunately, much of this can be seen in Tottenham, where industry has declined to such a degree to the point that these days there are basically no manufacturing organisations left. In 1952, it delivered a third of the national yield, utilising 40% of the workforce and made up a quarter of the world manufacturing exports. Nowadays, manufacturing in this country represents only 11% of GDP, employing only 8% of the workforce, and exports only 2% of the world's manufacturing exports. London, over the past 50 years, has undergone a series of drastic events that has altered the fabric of the landscape. Privatisation of both housing and industry sparked the beginning and the end for industry, including that around the Tottenham area. There still remains pockets of industry, particularly within Tottenham's old industrial estates, that could hold the key to a reworked model of how industry could perform. Taking into account housing through live-work units and the introduction of a hands-on, educational workshop idea, the industrial heritage of Tottenham could be reignited.
What were your theoretical approaches?
Since the project is developed around the recategorisation of the existing industry, we have attempted to put together a diagram to understand the current model throughout Tottenham. It is clear there are a few large players in terms of manufacture and production, and it is clear even from a single visit the area is full of small-scale businesses. But what is most important to the project is not necessarily the businesses themselves, although they will provide the foundation for a successful project, but it's the connections between them. It is these connections that we will explore, strengthen, and through spatial reorganisation, we aim to maximise output and efficiency. What can a collective group of businesses provide that a single business can't? By working closely alongside the existing industry, we aim to put together a model or a framework in order to allow industries and businesses to communicate, work, collaborate, and innovate through a social and spatial network. Simple measures such as recycling facilities can be adapted to allow for less pollution, high efficiency, or less waste. The current model operates a cradle-to-grave method of manufacture. Feeding recycling back into the system as an input creates a more valuable model that benefits the economy, inhabitants, and more importantly, the environment. A cradle-to-cradle model feeds these resources back into the system rather than postponing the time taken for the resources to reach landfill. The cradle-cradle approach aims to completely recycle everything infinitely. We hope to apply a similar strategy to Tottenham Hale. One of the biggest controversial factors influencing the design decisions is the capability to control existing and new businesses to feed back into the community. Through shared workspaces with larger work environments, more equipment and a social network of information, they're able to maximise profitability and efficiency. This that gives them the capability to give back to the community through positive autonomy. This can be achieved through simple reorganisation of the existing spatial industrial layout, bringing together, where appropriate, businesses that can benefit each other.
How did you translate this information into a strategy?
We have put together a strategic framework that sets out a discourse for the project, creating a new paradigm that challenges the current strategies that can be implemented within our design strategy for Tottenham. This 7-stage guide informs the spatial, theoretical and practical implications for our design proposal. The first is what we've named positive autonomy, which involves the sharing of resources to reduce business overheads while increasing efficiency, as well as building business relations and creating this positive autonomy, giving individual industries the capability of giving back to the community. The second is industrial symbiosis, which is increasing the communication throughout local businesses through building awareness, collaboration of information between related industries and local suppliers, developing stronger connections and in turn a stronger network. Businesses will benefit from an increase in efficiency and in turn will aim to give back to the community through workshops, training and apprenticeships. The third is the idea of live-work. With such a high demand for housing, not just in Tottenham but nationwide, housing is a priority in terms of government initiatives. While our main focus lies with the existing industry, the existing model proves that live-work environment exists and can be beneficial. The fourth is the idea of transparent industry. Prioritising public connections to industry can bring benefits in raising awareness of production processes, enabling social engagement. Visual presence of production can prompt understanding of human labour, considering into how industrial activities might contribute to the public life of Tottenham Hale. The fifth is the idea of spatial safety. Jane Jacobs talks about eyes on the street, which creates a sense of community and safety within a particular city. This is an important strategy to implement within Tottenham Hale, which has issues including crime and antisocial behaviour. By designing a space that is visible, transparent and accessible to users, we believe safety can be managed through people who usually take care of the streets. The sixth is to build awareness. The idea of raising awareness is not simply focused on the industry, but on the community as well. Creating a general awareness of what's happening with the area is vital to the success of this project. The final strategy is the idea of future-proofing, providing new building spaces that are adaptable over time, starting with council-owned assets and building an agenda that fulfills both employment and residential objectives.
What were your design intentions?
The existing conditions of Tottenham Hale, particularly south of the underground station, is rich in industrial and commercial units, from food manufacture to fabrication and retail. The site, in particular, through mapping of underutilised space, pedestrian movement and existing typologies, provided the ideal foundation on which to implement a very sensitive design strategy. We have analysed that there are over 70 different industrial-based businesses within the local area, not all of which are located within this region, however all of which play a role in the production and distribution of produce throughout London. With such a strong connection at all levels, including rail links, motorways, airports, it seems only appropriate to use these to our advantage in terms of our strategy. The introduction of a green link solves a number of key issues. Firstly, it creates a coherent link between the north and the south of the site, allowing transition between the community, the industry and the commercial units easier. This pedestrian-friendly and cycle-friendly route accommodates events and also allows a visual link between the public and the industry. Secondly, the circulation of pedestrians is designed to be more permeable to allow more pedestrians to walk within the area. A north-south green link provides visibility into the existing industry, increasing the pedestrian movement vertically throughout the site. Paths and access points off the green link to both the industry to the west and housing and schools to the east increase the horizontal flow. The green link will act as a stage for events, wrapping its way around a few existing structures, provides open spaces as well as much more smaller, intricate spaces to accommodate a number of different industry and retail-based activities.
How did you implement your design intentions?
Our strategy is broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1 is the construction of the green links as a basic framework for the circulation of the final master plan. It also involves the demolition and renovation of the existing buildings, extensions and other small-scale applications where necessary to adapt the urban fabric to future use, as well as the formation of key public spaces to the south part of the site, as well as constructing new buildings as planned, including the reorganisation of pedestrian activity and existing building fabric. Phase 2 aims to connect the north and the south parts of the site. Minimum engagement with the retail park in the middle of the site. Phase 2 also involves the formation of key public spaces around the northern green link. And the final, third phase, aims to bring together all the final design strategy. The infrastructure is in place, vertical and horizontal movement across the site is implemented, social engagement including workshop-based activities are in operation, and small-scale implications are in place to personalise the industry. The industry has now become fully visible and fully transparent, with a key element of public engagement.
How does it work in the real context of Tottenham Hale?
Based on our initial spatial analysis, we determined this building to be of particular importance. With initial funding, this space will be developed along with the green link to bring in existing industry from neighbouring areas. Fountain Road has been an inspiration for the project. In essence, the model which has been created hopes to achieve what Fountain Road is currently achieving in terms of live-work environments. However, the aim is on a much larger scale, including the inclusivity of the community as well as a much greater transparency. Through public and council funding, we hope to create a much more accessible environment for individuals to work.
Thanks for watching. We hope you find this useful.